everybody, and welcome again to the Women Making Herstory series. We are doing this series in celebration of Women's History Month. I am Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network. Delighted that you're taking the time to soak in the wisdom, inspiration, and love that has been shared from all of our guests. And I know that you're going to feel that from our guests today. I am delighted to introduce you to my very good, relatively new friend, Miss Jodi Hinkle. Hi, my friend.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic and so excited that you were able to join us for this series. So thank you for making time for this.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure completely. And let me share a little bit about Jodi and her journey, and she'll share more specifically about that with you today. But here's a little bit about her background. Jodi Hinkle is the founder and CEO of HerQuest. She's a seasoned business development strategist who has finely tuned her ability to assess, develop, and design collaborative business solutions. With 20 plus years of experience in corporate America, Jodi has transitioned her leadership to fostering collective alliances among women entrepreneurs. You can now see why she's my friend, right? Eager to blend customer engagement strategies among aligned businesses, Jodi guides business owners who want to leverage their expertise to even more success through an assessment and enhancement of their customer engagement systems. Jodi's unique approach blends the concepts used in corporate America with strategically aligning business planning and the customer's emotional journey. Her most recent focus has been the development of HerQuest.net, which is a multifaceted platform offering multiple women-owned businesses the opportunity to expand their businesses. The core of HerQuest's mission is to guide women how to free themselves from perceived limitations and embrace the awareness of how to foster the life they want. Jodi is a woman making herstory. So glad that you're here today.
Thank you. Yeah. I love hearing that little recap. It's very validating.
Right? We hear it from other people, and it's all you. It's all the magnificence of you, right?
Yeah.
So do me a favor, share with our listeners a little bit about your journey, your shift from corporate America to what you're doing now. And, what was the biggest impact for you on where you are now and how you're leading others today?
Sure. So I really loved my time in corporate America. I learned a lot. I was supported very strongly by a number of different, mostly women mentors. And I became really good at what I did. And I was in healthcare, and long story short, healthcare reform made lots of changes happen. And I ended up exiting corporate America relatively unexpectedly, and took a minute to figure out what was next for me. And sidestepped into the entrepreneur world, created HerQuest during a trip from Massachusetts to Florida over a 3-week journey, really, with this vision of what this collaborative effort would become. And I really see how valuable some of the concepts that we used in corporate America can serve the entrepreneurs, the small business associations and gatherings, networks of many kinds, to bring them even more opportunity to take their expertise and collaborate and build alliances together, enhance customer engagement, which is really about moving your customer all the way through each of your service lines into a deeper and deeper engagement, and help everybody be more successful and have some more fun at the same time.
Right. Putting in that fun piece of it too. Yeah. What's interesting is I'm hearing you share about what, first of all, you did love and value your experience in corporate America. And I oftentimes think that there's this concept that corporate America is one thing and entrepreneurship is another, but the people in corporate are entrepreneurs. The ones that started it, or they have a vision. And what I love about the work that you're now doing is taking the processes for how corporate treats their customers and bringing it to the small and medium-sized business owners. we must keep focused on the customer. And you have a particular way of really honing in on the customer's emotional journey, because there's a lot of talk about demographics and psychographics, but this emotional journey, speak to that a little bit more.
Sure, sure. So customers can come to us from a number of different places, right, where they're receiving the solution that we're offering.
Mm-hmm.
It could be very early in their utilization of what the service or product is. It could be later stage, so they may have more footing, a stronger stance to apply the solution that you're offering. But understanding where they are in the journey of applying and receiving the benefit of the solution is a way to foster an atmosphere and some elements of how the products are delivered and the engagement occurs that will foster more success for the customer. If they understand that there's a journey, literally a step-by-step incremental shift that is going to happen as they learn and apply your solution, they can see each step along the way as a success instead of a frustration after frustration, as they only potentially see the end result as the success.
Yeah.
And so by engaging them in understanding what's the journey and celebrating each incremental shift, they really feel satisfied the entire time.
So, which makes them more likely to refer to you, to come back for more products and services. I mean, we hear often that people buy based on emotion and then back it up with logic. So doesn't it make sense to tune in on the emotional journey first?
To speak from a place of that they can hear you, but also feel you, right? Feeling understood is critical for our customers to be able to engage with us. So if we're over here talking about the lofty end point and not the struggle, what the customer is feeling along the way, we can lose them. We can miss out our opportunity to serve them.
Yeah, and you know what else comes to mind for me, and I've had some practice with the process that you use to guide business owners to tap into that emotional piece. We'll talk about that in a moment. What comes to mind for me is me as a business owner considering the emotional journey of my customer. It also opens up greater opportunity, because if I'm thinking only of the emotional state at the very beginning and not where they may be in the middle, I might miss out on serving that person that's in the emotional middle.
Yes.
Because I can serve them too. Not everybody has to be at ground zero. They can be here, or they can be here, and I'm helping them get to there.
Absolutely. And so the entry point can be along any stance in the trajectory of the service line.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I know you have great tools and resources to get us focused and centered in this. What would you say is the core piece that I and us watching as business owners, where's that core place we need to come from to be able to tap into that?
I think that the biggest difference, I'm going to go back to corporate America a second to answer the question. I was taught to keep my personal self out of business and have those boundaries with my clients and my collaborative partners. And certainly I had some friendships and such, but there was a real boundary lesson around that. And that was the biggest shift for me coming into entrepreneur land because it's about me. It is sharing my strength, my solutions, my journey of how I got here, my education, the services, and the end result of that satisfied customer, and encouraging them to speak about what did it feel like to work with me. It's about what I'm offering, and therefore my personal passion and tapping into the energy that's tied to that, and modeling or providing an example or using my own story of how challenges and barriers have become overcome is really a much bigger difference and a much more satisfying and inspirational position for me to be in at this point in time.
Right. Like it feels good for you, and it also feels good for the customers and the clients that you're serving.
Right.
It creates connection. with
Yes.
them on an emotional level.
Yes. And we've talked a couple of times about, I'm not meant to serve everyone. And so as we're all super busy and trying to prioritize, having some tools to find the right clients quickly that will resonate and find value in my solutions, that's a lot of what the toolbox is about.
And I know that you've got a great gift for
Yes.
everyone to guide them in tapping into this. And it's interesting as you're talking today, and I'm thinking again about corporate and what you said a moment ago, that we were discouraged
Yes.
from bringing our personal side into it. Leave your personal life at home. This is all about business.
Yes.
But is it really? I don't think so.
Because business is about building relationships, no matter who it is you're interacting with. Relationships bring trust, mutual trust, to the point where you build a bond with somebody. And that bond is where loyalty comes in.
So good.
That's where you retain a customer, re-engage a customer, and they actually do become a referral source.
Yeah. I'm going to go off script for a moment because you, surprise, you have a really great skill set and gift in tapping into your passion to create connections with people that you never knew. So I want to say, my friend, you are a master at cultivating quality relationships through social media. It's how we met.
It is.
And you have so many new connections because of not just the fact that you're on social media, but how you show up. And you want to get her toolbox, because if her toolbox could give you that one thing, like, you'd be making history in a whole new way, right?
And we're actually calling that the fuel box, not the toolbox.
Yes. Okay, the fuel box. Fuel box for the fuel. So give a little bit of a tidbit on how you do this.
Sure. So I take care of myself first and foremost in a very different way. I take time and attention on me. I take care of my physical body. I surround myself with the people who I want to emulate myself after. I don't watch TV, right? All of that negative influence. I choose when I make phone calls in order to tap into my strongest, best self, so that as I'm asking somebody to take some of their valuable time and share it with me, that I'm bringing at least some value to them, even if it's simply a positive exchange.
Beautiful.
And so by by taking care of me, I can provide that emotional payoff in any interaction that I have.
Beautiful. So we're going to give you the link is below on how you can get the fuel box, and I'll have her speak more about that in just a moment.
Sure.
I'm asking all of our amazing visionary women that are with us to share about a woman in history who's had an impact or influenced you. Who is that?
It is Rosa Lee Hill. And not many people know that name.
No, I did not.
She is the second wife of Napoleon Hill, the famous author of Think and Grow Rich. And it was one of the first books that I read after I left corporate America, and I had been advised to read this book by a good handful of people and didn't step right into it. But boy, when I started to read that book, it was like absorbing the solution in every possible way. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
And he speaks about, one particular section of the book talks about the value of the women in the successful men's lives that he was interviewing, over 200 very successful men, first being Andrew Carnegie. And he speaks very boldly about the importance of having that nurturing, nourishing environment in the home setting and in relationships. And that without that, it's a missing element to achieving success. And so here he is talking about all these 200 men who have
Mhm.
mastered success, and now including himself, right? And I couldn't help but wonder, who are the women that are fostering all this nurturing, nourishing love
I
to
love it.
help these guys get to the success that they have?
Mhm.
So I looked her up, and I cannot believe what I found. She married him in 1937. 1937. She was a smart enough woman to have a prenuptial agreement signed before they married.
Wow.
And he was a famous author at the time, but didn't really have any money. So not every woman would have had the foresight to, think ahead.
Mhm.
And lo and behold, in the only 4 years that they were married, she became the editor of the Think and Grow Rich manuscript that was started but not finished. And through 3 revisions in which she literally typed every paragraph, every page,
Wow.
there's talk about her rewriting certain sections, pushing him to clarify and stay focused on the points that he was trying to make. She was his mentor. She was his coach. So more than just that positive environment at
Yeah.
home, she really collaborated with him on the content of this book.
I had no idea.
Me either. And 4 years later, she got every single penny of the royalties. And in 1940, it was worth $1 million, and she got every penny. So she's my inspirational woman for now. Come on down and help me.
Yeah, that is great. And I'm gonna have to look her up. And
Yep.
she go on to write books and stuff herself?
She had one book after that I could locate, and I actually ordered it on Amazon just a couple of days ago, and it talks about attracting money and men. And she's the primary author, and Napoleon Hill is the co-author.
Ah, I love it.
So,
Oh, I can't
yeah,
wait. I'm going to
I
grab
can't
that one
either.
too.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
So juicy and so good. So,
Yeah.
thank you. That was really, really inspiring for me. Your story, and then hearing about Rosa Lee. Is that her name?
Rosa Lee
Rosa Lee.
Beeland. Yeah, Beeland is her maiden name. Hill.
All right.
Yeah.
So as we're wrapping up here, go ahead and let our audience know this yummy, juicy fuel box they can tap into.
Sure. So you are a huge proponent of sales calls. Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I think that the language of sales call, or the term, turns people off quickly.
Yes.
And so I like to think of them as ways to connect with people and provide some positive influence or positive moment of their day. So this strategy is around how to do that, how to foster the self-care and the energy, the emotional energy in your own self before you make the phone call, tapping into the fuel that really feeds that positive experience and interaction, and shortcutting the process to finding your ideal client.
So good.
So at the very least, you're offering that positive moment. You're quickly deciding, is this somebody that I can potentially collaborate with, serve in some way? And if not, move on. And if so, provide a deeper engagement.
So good. So good. All right. So you want to click on the link below and get the fuel box that Jodi's put together so beautifully. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And I know all of our viewers will appreciate it as well. And there's another button on this page, and it says join the movement. And we need you to share your herstory, your stories. So join us in this movement. Every single woman stepping up, recognizing their greatness, coming together in collaboration in this extraordinary community of Women's Prosperity Network. So click the button for Jodi's gift, click the button and join the movement. And we will be back with another powerful, powerful interview in this Women Making Herstory series. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jodi, thanks for being with us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome.